Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to It's Rainmaking Time. This is Kim Greenhouse. We've covered so many subjects, but we have yet to talk about dreams. Our guest today is Kelly Walden Sullivan. She is a certified clinical hypnotherapist and the author of the #1 Amazon best-selling dream book called I Had the Strangest Dream, The Dreamer's Dictionary for the 21st Century. She also wrote Discover Your Inner Goddess Queen, an inspirational journey from drama queen to goddess queen, and The Zone Golf. She's the host of the D-Spot weekly web radio show on the Awakening Zone. She's also a featured guest on Fox, NBC, CBS, and ABC News and magazines such as 17, Bride, and Cosmopolitan. And she also has a weekly dream blog on AOL's mydaily.com. She's the creator of something called The Dream Project, which is a nonprofit organization that bridges inspired young people to solve the issues facing the United Nations and the Millennium Development Goals. It is my great pleasure to welcome her to the show today to talk about the book, I Had the Strangest Dream, The Dreamer's Dictionary for the 21st Century. Welcome to the show, Kelly.
Thank you, Kim. It's a pleasure to be with you. I love your show, and I love that it's rainmaking time.
It's rainmaking time, and I'm having a dream that we're laughing about that in the future, sitting with kids all over the world, and they're laughing as they're saying it.
I love it. And it happens, I'm in Southern California, and it's raining today. It never rains in California except today.
I think it's your fault.
I think it's because it's rainmaking time. It's really cool.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, when I read I Had the Strangest Dream, I was thinking about different things that come up in dreams, a lot of the adjectives and nouns and the kind of images that people get when they dream. And I wanted to ask you, what made you put together a dictionary, and on what basis did you make these categories, and how do you know you're right?
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a
Exactly, and you can answer it however. Now, I want to preface those three questions by saying that your interest in Carl Jung obviously inspired you to get into dreams and to probably follow your path as a hypnotherapist. But I want to know about these categories because I've never seen it quite like this before.
Oh, wow. Cool. Thank you. Well, I'll answer the first part, one of the first parts of the question about what inspired me to write it. As a hypnotherapist, I was in the practice of when you work with people on a subconscious level, it seems like you know after the 1 or 2 or 3 sessions, people start having really vivid dreams. So it seemed like it was just a pattern that people would come in to see me, and sometimes they would initially talk about what it was that they wanted a breakthrough in, but it seemed like they would either talk about a dream first, or the dream would come up somewhere in the session where they would just kind of start talking about a dream that related to what was going on with them. And I felt like, I don't know if you've ever seen there's all kinds of detective kind of stories out there. There's a television show that my mother particularly likes called Monk. And in the show, the guy, like, he'll hear a certain word that'll all of a sudden perk his attention, and he'll know, drill here. And I feel like I was kind of this detective that just had a sense when somebody would start to talk about dreams, it would be like the room would begin to buzz, and all of a sudden it was like this supernatural energy or access, availability was suddenly present and really palpable. And all of a sudden, as they started talking, I felt like the dreamer, the client, was leading me to, for lack of a better word, the scene of the crime, back to where the initial pain was or where the solution was, because our dreams are always illuminating our path and showing us what the blocks are, and also showing us what the next healing step would be. So I just started really having this deep reverence for dreams. And I had always had a reverence for dreams since I was little, but professionally speaking, I got to see people's lives change before my eyes because of the work that we would do that was related to their dreams. It just seemed to speed things up. It felt like traditional therapy that was just dealing with the logical mind would just take a lot longer, and this just felt like a shortcut.
I call the dreams that you just referred to, trying to go through the logical mind, the slow boat to China.
And you may never get there.
Exactly.
Or you could just kind of arrive there through the power of thought, and you're there. And, without any seasickness or anything. But after people would come in with dreams, often, there was all kinds of dreams that I would hear. The happy ones, the seemingly just crazy, wild ones, the scary ones. It seemed like the ones that were most troubling to people were the ones that they would tend to remember most vividly. And being a therapist, you tend to get the stuff that is bothering people, not so much the stuff that is going great for people. So I'm kind of in the business of alchemy. It's like, give me the stuff that is broken and hurting you, and let's shift it and rearrange it and realign it and have it become rocket fuel. So I got used to hearing people's dreams that were not, let's just call them not positive dreams. We could put them in the nightmare category. And I had this particular way of seeing them that would empower people, and with a little bit of shifting, a little bit of reframing, really what would seem like a very scary dream would turn into something really empowering. So I heard over and over and over again, you should write about this, you should do this, because there isn't anything else out there on the market that these people, that they had, that seemed to give the positive spin on things that I saw, or the way of being able to kind of bring the quality of alchemy to dreams. So I kept hearing that enough, and I finally just started to write my own way of interpreting these symbols, and it kind of snowballed into something much bigger than I thought it was going to become, and now it's a bestseller on Amazon. So there you go. Sometimes when you follow the dream clues, you never know where it's going to take you.
What do you say to people who come to you as a hypnotherapist, let's say to work on some things, that they are having difficulty accessing the subconscious, and therefore they report to you, look, I don't seem to be dreaming. I can't remember anything when I wake up. What do you tell them?
Well, first thing is that it's not a prerequisite that you have to have a vivid dream recall to be able to work with me. It seems like it's a byproduct of working with me that people tend to have greater dream recall after a couple sessions with me, but you don't have to walk in with that going for you. It's not the only way. I talk about how there's many ladders that lead us to the roof. This is one particular ladder that's a good one in my book, but it's not the only ladder. You can access the roof or the mountaintop in many different ways. This is just one. So I don't claim that this is the be-all, end-all. It just happens to be miraculously, consistently, incredibly helpful. So if somebody wants to improve their dream recall and they ask me how to do that, then there's a few little techniques that you can do that are pretty simple that can up-level dream recall. And one of those things is the simple act of desiring it is like half the battle. If you don't put a value on dreams, then you're most likely not going to remember them unless they're particularly emotional or really, really vivid. But so by wanting to remember them, that's half the battle. And by virtue of that, that means that you've placed a value on those dreams. You haven't just written it off because they don't make sense. You don't care about them. So that's part of it. The other half of it is backing it up by action. And that means simply putting a dream journal by your nightstand with a pen so it's easy to get to, or a recording device on your iPhone or on your Droid. There's a free app called, I'm blanking all of a sudden, Evernote.
Oh, yeah, I have that.
Yeah, Evernote's great if you aren't going to wake the person up that's sleeping next to you. That's important because you don't want to record your dreams at the expense of somebody else being able to pay attention to theirs. So you got to tiptoe around and go and just record them. Within the first 5 minutes of waking up, half your dreams have disappeared, and within 10 minutes or less, 95% of your ability to recall your dreams is gone. So you've got to write them down right away. And another thing is before you wake up in the morning, while you're still laying in bed and when you're becoming aware that you're starting to wake up, it's a tendency for people who don't recall dreams to immediately start thinking about what they have to do that day. There's a lot of people in this 21st century that are living fast-paced lives that immediately start thinking of, okay, I've got to make these phone calls, got to check my emails, got to blah, blah, blah. The moment you start thinking about those things, it puts it dissolves your dreams. Your dreams are as good as gone. So make sure that your first thought upon awakening